Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com, dwyervip.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. I see a game that looks like a blowout to me. I believe you're actually getting value taking the Alabama Crimson Tide and laying 11.5 points at a neutral site, Jerry Jones's stadium in Texas, against the USC Trojans, right? Let's be real here. Alabama coming off a national championship. You're Nick Saban. You want to make a statement so that potential recruits across the country know that you're on the top of your game, right? Here you have this college showcase in Texas, on the road, right? Both teams, neutral site. All eyes on you. It's the start of the football season. Nick Saban, one of the best coaching minds in America, has had time to prepare. More importantly, he's the coach dealing with the better team, dealing with less dysfunction, right? The coach of SC is Clay Helton. Understand, this guy has been a head coach for about half a season, right? This is the first time Clay Helton has been head coach of the USC Trojans to open a college football season. Not only does he not have anything remotely resembling the experience or success of Nick Saban, but understand his key weapon, his quarterback, Cody Kessler, is gone. How good is Cody Kessler? I fully expect Cody Kessler by the end of the season to be the starting quarterback for Hugh Jackson's Cleveland Browns, right? Kessler was a player. People who follow the Pac-12 know it. Well, Kessler is gone now. So you're going to have an inexperienced quarterback for the Trojans. Now, understand, Helton wasn't their first choice as head coach, right? They had a guy last year they hired to start the season, Steve Sarkisian. He imploded. According to rumors, he had a drinking problem. So Helton took over in the middle of the season. Here's what you need to know. Defensively, SC on average gave up over 400 yards a game last season. The differential between the yards gained per game offensively and the yards given up per game defensively for USC last year was under 40 yards. In fact, it was under 38 yards. The actual number is 37.5 yardage differential. Now let's contrast that with Alabama. Would it surprise you to know that on average last year, Alabama offensively got 150.8 more yards than they gave up defensively? Folks, that's per game. That's a gap over SC of over 110 yards per game. Let me say this too. In terms of yards per play, numbers aren't close. SC, there's a 0.5 yards per play differential, right? Offensive yards per play minus defensive yards per play. With Alabama, the number's 1.6, right? 1.6. Let's go one step further. You know that Helton, in interview after interview, has talked about how he wants to be able to run the football. He's going to have to, right? Because his quarterback's no longer there. Well, how's he going to run the football on Alabama's defense? Right? Let's talk about how SC ended their season last year. They made it to the Pac-12 championship game. Got blown out by my alumni, my alma mater, the Stanford Cardinal. Right? SC gets blown out in the Pac-12 championship game. Then they play Wisconsin in the Holiday Bowl. Did you know that in that Holiday Bowl, USC mustered all of 16 first downs? 16 first downs in a bowl game. I believe they had less than 300 yards of offense. Double check me on that. This is not your father's SC. Right? This program's been reeling since Pete Carroll left in 2010. How many years is that? 2016 minus 2010, let's say it's 6 years. During that period of time, SC's had 3 head coaches and 2 interim coaches. Think about things on a human level as well. Offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin for the Alabama Crimson Tide got run out of SC. I know he's not going to talk about having a grudge in interviews, but you can imagine this game means more to him than a game against practically any other team in Division I football. Now let's look at Kiffin's past, right? Kiffin, of course, used to be head coach for the Oakland Raiders. Right? So I'm guessing Lane Kiffin, with a lot of talent offensively around him, knows what Clay Helton, who actually replaced him when he left, Helton coached the next game. Right? Kiffin knows Helton. I'm sure Kiffin has a feel for the kind of defense that Helton is going to bring to the table. Right? Now let's think about the offensive coordinator for the Trojans. Would it surprise you that he's as green as the Trojans' head coach? That offensive coordinator's T. Martin. This is his first year serving in that capacity. Guess what? He's a newbie going up against a Nick Saban defense. Forgive me if I sound like a skeptic, but I'm going to take the defending national champion over the team that lost its last 2 games in this college showcase game to open the college football season, being played, of course, on a big stage where the Dallas Cowboys play, right? Jerry Jones's Taj Mahal. All the cards line up. You're telling me that in this mismatch, I get to lay less than 2 touchdowns? No need to put a bow on the package. Sign me up. I'll take it. I like the Alabama Crimson Tide here, laying 11.5 over the USC Trojans. If you feel you can give fellow gamblers an edge on the casino, or if you want to challenge the premise of this video, if you believe that SC covers this line, then I hope you leave your comments in the comment section to this video. Thanks for stopping by.